Hey guys, it's Conf Hollywood Studios here. Today is Saturday, June 7th. We were not supposed to be here today. We were supposed to be in Seaside, but that will be happening tomorrow now.
We were going to come here anyway.
We were going to come here anyway, but not this early. It's 10 o'clock. We're here at Great Adventure. And, well, there aren't too many other people here at Great Adventure.
Yes.
Well, we'll see. The trend has been that the weekends have not been particularly crowded at Great Adventure, and pretty much the bulk of crowds this year have been coming from school trips and group sales during the week. So we'll see what happens, but weekends have been pretty pleasant at the park so far. Wow, it's really, really crowded. So this is very funny because it's 10:12. There's nobody else coming in the Prestige entrance, and they let us in early. So I guess we just have the park to ourselves for a good 15 minutes, which is pretty funny. Like I said, really not crowded yet, and this is park opening, and I'd say there's definitely less than 100 people over there. And the run to Flash just keeps happening. But obviously that's where we're going first. So we'll see you guys over there. They actually did open ever so slightly early too. They opened like a minute early, which is nice. Looks like we have a new ad in front of Flash's entrance too for 5 Gum. Actually, that's just from Grad Night, because Grad Night, I think that was last night actually. Yeah, so that's still from that. So just the 2 rides on Flash I'd show you, but, well, can't. But we did one ride in the back car where Tom and I were in the second to back seat and my dad was in the third to back seat. There was no audio in car 6 at all from what it sounded like. Then we went and rode in the front car. So they were in row 1, I was in row 2, and the audio was loud and it was really, really good. But yeah, still seems to be some issues with the audio, but as long as you don't ride in the back, it seems that the audio is working fairly well. I think now it is time for us to go on Batman, and then we're gonna circle over to Nitro because the repaint, as you guys saw in the title of this video, has started, kind of. We'll show you guys what I mean. Batman was running good. Got a nice preview of Nitro's repainted sign, which we'll show you guys in a minute. First, we're gonna go eat at Mama Flora's, then we'll head over by Nitro and see what's going on there. Yeah, this park really is not looking crowded today. So it looks like here at Mama Flora's too, they're starting to switch over to the condiment dispensers as opposed to the bags, which I really appreciate. Alrighty, look at this. So the namesake of this video, here it is. Nitro's repaint has officially begun again. It started in 2023, that was, when the trains were repainted. And now we have the sign that has been all freshened up. From pictures, I wasn't a huge fan, but I actually do really like this. It's clean. I like the blue. They repainted the footer as well, repainted the sign. I'm a fan. I like this. Jerseyville Barbecue, as you can see, is still closed. The menus are here. They were not up last time I was here, I don't think, but they are here. Actually, let's take a closer look here. So yeah, it looks like they're getting rolling slowly but surely. But there are what looks like new items actually. Yeah, it's definitely not the same items that there were. So that's a good sign. And the rapids are now open. So I think we're gonna go on because this is actually my first ride getting to see, my first time at the park getting to see that the rapids are open because they've been kind of up and down a little bit, but we're gonna go for a ride and see how much has changed. And it looks like we might be some of the only idiots actually going to ride this because these boats are like empty. Looks like they have the misters back on in the queue too. I don't remember this being on, at least not to this degree last season, so that's cool. I guess they gotta get you extra wet before you even get on. And I would imagine the queue is probably pretty full during the weekdays and all the school groups are here, but on the weekends when no one's here, we pretty much just walk right on. Looks like we have new seat belts on the rapids here. All right, we just got off Roaring Rapids, and it's funny because I think the rain actually got us more wet than the ride. I mean, we still got wet, Ed didn't want. Ed, you're almost as wet as us, and you didn't even ride. But you guys got decently. It was fun. Not really much has changed. I think the jet at the end might be a little stronger, but otherwise, it's pretty much the same as it was last year. Taking a look from all the way over here, it looks like not really much has changed over at Barnstormer. You know it's dead when even Flash has no weight. Everything is no weight in the park right now. Yeah, I guess the rain really scared people away. Although, I don't know if that's the whole story, because like I've been saying, weekends here really haven't been that crowded compared to weekdays. Weekdays have kind of been getting carried by the school groups coming, because there's been a lot of those. So until school is out in Jersey, I would highly recommend just coming on weekends, as crazy as that sounds, because they are far less crowded than weekdays. So we've shown this machine a few times now, and Ken finally brought his change to do it. And Ken, you showed me one of your pennies is very special. Why is it so special?
Well, they're both special.
They are both special.
1968, my birth year. And 2005. We all know what's so special about that year.
Yes.
It was the last year we didn't have any color.
Well, that's one way to put it. But Ken is going to use this 2005 penny to get the Zumanjaro and King Dakar special penny. In it goes.
And there, it's
There
official.
it is. And now Ken has two. Are they any different?
This one, because I screwed it up, because it's got a little nubbin at the top.
Ah.
This one does too.
Wow, this is crazy to see midday like this. Looks like even the rain can't stop Tweety and Sylvester from popping out to Dream Street here. What's up, guys? Now we're gonna go pop into Adventure World real quick and check out the merch selections if anything's changed. So it looks like the Ka designs keep getting restocked. We have Legendary King Ka, we've got the King of Freaking Ka, this one again. So it looks like these two designs are very much so in stock. I don't know when this video is gonna come out, but looks like they are restocking them. I know I reported earlier in the year they weren't, and they originally were not, but I guess they saw how much money they're making from it because everyone wants them, so they figured you might as well restock them. I find it really entertaining that they're selling a sloth in Flash pajamas. And then in terms of nanos, over here at least, we have a ton of Scream Machine nanos, a couple Supermans, a couple Batmans, and then the train designs for Toro and Nitro, but nothing else. And there's not really much other availability other than that. They do have the Made to Thrill pins in Adventure World. You got Toro, Nitro, and there's the Great Adventure one right there. It's a lot like the Great American one, and a few other pins and other such things. So don't just look in Six Flags Universe if you're trying to find merch, because you might find better stuff over here. Here is the Grad Night hoodie. I saw this at Great America when I was out there, but here you go. Tom's a great showman here. And that awesome Six Flags corporate logo. We're now down in the Frontier Adventures area, going on Log Flume, and you can kind of see it from here. I'll show you guys a better view later, but there's a new water element that's been added to the drop. Another ride with absolutely no water. So this is the addition I was talking to over here at the Log Flume. It's interesting because you don't get hit by it very much. You can see the way it's angled, it kind of goes a little too far. I can't tell if they were trying to make it so that you like fully got hit by it or it like went over. But it's cool. Huh? So Ken, on your second ride when you were in the front, did you get hit by it? No? On my first ride when I was in the front, I did get hit by it. And you can see like it's in such a spot where you're almost not going to notice it because that's when the splash kind of starts. So it's cool. I mean, I think visually it looks really, really cool. I would love to see a whole line of them going down because you can see there are more spouts going down the line there. So I think that would be really, really cool to see added. But Log Flume was good. We rode it twice. Ken and I got decently wet, nothing crazy. You guys get wet? Yeah, you got pretty wet, yeah. So Best of the West is open, but it is still just the bar. You can see they even took some of the switchbacks out too, just to make it more open. I'm surprised they still have these ones. I do not know though when restaurant service will return here, because they've switched all the TV screens over now to just show beverage options, which, I mean, it's certainly interesting. I would much rather see it open as a restaurant, but I will take it being open like this over it being closed any day. One of the best things about coming back here to the back of Best of the West is seeing these ginormous snapping turtles. Look at the size of that one.
Look at the head on. One here. Look.
It's like a boat coming into dock when they hear people over here. I'm still very curious what they're gonna do with this whole space over here because, I mean, yes, they are still using the station, but they're only using it for Savannah Sunset. They have all this path space now that's just used for nothing, and they still have the TVs on in the queue, even though it's not used and not gonna be used probably for a long time, if ever again. Do they still have the sign? Yeah, they still have the sign for the attraction itself right there.
It's gonna be the queue for that multi-launch record coaster.
Yeah, the one that'll come in 10 years. It appears that the mine train was cut for the day, so I guess we're not gonna be getting to ride that today. As we're walking by, I'm noticing these little orange bits of spray paint on some of these fencing posts, which presumably is for them to be replaced. But hey, let the speculation begin, huh? Very minor update, but definitely noticed there's some new mulch all in here underneath the Medusa sign. That's nice. There's also new mulch all underneath these bushes over here, so looks like they definitely came over here and sprinkled some love. As you can see, that Green Lantern sign that was next to Medusa here is gone. But Medusa was actually running really, really well. We rode front row. First half was flying, and then of course you get to the mid-course and the ride kind of dies off. But if they would turn those brakes down a little bit, this ride would definitely be number, I guess, 4 in the park. Wait, no, number 5, definitely not number 4. Now it is time to go over to El Toro. There's not very many people on there from the looks of it. Looks like we got off just in the nick of time because they are presumably dropping to one train. But we rode 3 times. I would have kept going around and riding more, but this rain on El Toro, whew, it is a lot to bear, but it was running good.
It's going really fast.
Yeah.
Little lubrication.
Yes, probably the fastest rides I've had on
Real
Toro
good.
all
You could
year.
just dodge all the rain in your face.
I was trying.
I missed it more than I thought. That was really
Oh, it's so good. Rain rides on this cannot be missed. Also, something I wanted to mention because I saw it pop up again. So, for those of you unaware, Toro does have a new rule ever since last year. The same rule Ka actually wound up having too, where the lap bar needs to make contact with your thigh in order for you to ride, which really does affect little kids more than anyone. And even if they're 48 inches tall, if the lap bar does not go all the way down and touch their thighs, it doesn't matter, and they are not allowed to ride. And unfortunately, I saw a kid, it was his birthday too, he was all pumped up to ride El Toro, and then unfortunately the lap bar could not go down far enough. Obviously this is a safety thing, so I get it, but I think something should be done from Intamin or Six Flags or whoever it would wind up falling on to make the ride more accommodating for people that are 48 inches tall. Because at that point, you might as well just raise the height requirement if you're not going to be able to accommodate people that are that height. Again, you know, there's no one to really blame here other than just the restraint system being how it is. But it is really sad to see someone like a little kid start crying on his birthday because he can't ride. We decided we'd come pay a visit to Superman Island down here. I don't really like coming down here that much, but gotta support the rest of the park, I guess. Well, one thing I'm noticing, it looks like these benches have been altered like they did at Flash, where there's now blue and red. Well, at least I think it's only those 2 right there.
But we got some oddballs too.
Yeah, there's a couple stragglers in here. Also, I know this isn't new, but I don't know why the Superman sign looks like they turned up the blue tint on it a little too much. It just looks a little different. Like, look at Superman, right? Look at the red on Superman. Doesn't it look almost purplish when you look closely at it, right?
Yeah, it does. It could be just the lighting.
It could be the lighting because it's not a very pleasant day today.
Oh my God.
There's a telltale sign for what we can expect to see happen in this area. Or maybe they're coming to the jet fuel research area. I don't know. Where'd it go? Oh, it's already gone. Oh, there it is. Line. Looks like Ken forgot that Green Lantern doesn't exist anymore. Unfortunately. And it looks like Toro's one train is still stopped up there. So like I said, I'm pretty sure they are dropping the one train, but it has been up there for quite a while.
Wet rabbit fur.
Wet rabbit fur. While we're making our rounds, as Ken does want to get on Roaring Rapids, we're going to check what the line looks like for Flash. On Flash Pass, it said no wait, but I would be really surprised. Even on a dead day, this ride always has a line, so let's see if that's the situation today or not. Flash very much so does have a line. Now that it's not raining as heavy, let's see if I get more wet on Roaring Rapids. Alrighty, wet report from Roaring Rapids. I got pretty wet on my rear. You're soaked.
I got it on my side, but luckily Ken formed a protective
Yeah,
barrier.
Ken, your whole side right here is soaked.
Yeah, I got the hose at the end.
Yeah, you did get the hose. It was overall probably a lot more wet than our first ride this morning. But I think now what we're gonna go do is I'm gonna grab a Johnny Rockets milkshake, then we're gonna go over to the safari and do base camp and see what's changed over there. I'm gonna forego the milkshake because I don't wanna risk getting it and then not being able to get it through security at the safari, so we're just gonna go over there. Over here in Six Flags Universe, we have the Grad Night hoodies as well as t-shirts. Same design we showed off over at Adventure World. I actually do like that back graphic.
They make it on a
And then over here at Main Street Market, they restocked the Big Five set right there with Medusa, Toro, Nitro, and Devil. Some patches, the We Care About You,
Yeah, those with the
and
yellow pack.
plenty of stuff over there as well. So I know in one of my last vlogs, people were asking me to show more of the Looney Tunes merch. So
That's a little
here you go.
late.
So
Yeah, it is a
little
little
time.
late. This should have came out on February 28th. But here's your Looney Tunes merch. There's all of this. There's individual character shirts, plenty of hats, hoodies for each character it looks like. So there is no shortage of Looney Tunes merch if there are some Looney Tunes fans watching. Now for those of you who haven't seen vlogs where I've traveled from Great Adventure to base camp, I can't emphasize enough how quick of a walk it really is. I mean, if you walk at I won't lie, I walk a little more fast than most people, but if you walk at a fairly brisk pace, you can probably get over there in 10 minutes, I'd say. All you're doing is walking around Superman, past where Ka and Lantern were, and then you're there. It's a very quick walk, but there is a shuttle that picks up right here at the front gate. And on your way over, you get a great view of the gravesite. Hopefully we'll see construction start on that supposed 2026 coaster sooner than later. Still no signs of, well, anything really over here. They boarded up the East Coaster store. The Lantern track is still sitting over there, by the way. It is not in the safari yet. It actually looks nice and clean now that it's been sitting out in the rain for so long. So there's still the one piece of Ka track right there. And then further up, of course, the Lantern track. I'm assuming that that's all supposed to go into the safari. I mean, we don't know for sure, but that's my best guess because, I mean, why else would they be keeping them both right here? It is interesting that there's two pieces of Lantern track. Maybe we'll see them both go in the safari. Who knows? I think that'd be pretty cool, but I hope they all go right next to Scream Machine. I think that would be pretty sweet because then they'll all be together again. But yeah, there's your look at the Ka track. Vinny, how do you feel about that Ka track?
Terrible.
This is, wow.
There it is.
I'm seeing it.
Yeah.
I want to touch it.
And there are your pieces of lanterns. You got Lantern right there, Ka right there. I don't know why they're so far away from each other, but here you go. There's another look. All the way down there where Ka is. So they've set this up a little differently now. There's a split right there where if you need to buy a ticket, you stay right. If you already have a ticket, you stay left and get scanned earlier than you did prior. And here are your prices for the safari. Not bad, honestly. So some construction progress over here. If you guys remember last time we were here, these were not done, but it looks like some of them actually are done now. So we have this one right here with the laughing kookaburra. There it is. Doesn't look happy to see me, but there it is. And then right next door is the great horned owl. It's actually pretty amazing how close you are to these. This one also doesn't look very happy to see me, but there he is. So it's called the laughing kookaburra because, well, it laughs at you. He's getting too much of a kick out of this. He knows it's you.
I knew he was funny, but not this funny.
In addition to what I just showed you guys, there's another new portion of base camp over here. We saw this under construction last time we were over here. And now, if I'm not mistaken, this is the new home of Fred and Wilma, the tortoises who used to be next to King Ka. But there's also a little pig right here. Kind of little. Not the biggest pig I've ever seen. Now, I'm sure you guys remember Aldabra Island, which was in the Golden Kingdom. Well, there they are. They've made their journey past King Ka over to the new Aldabra Island. Look at that, it's the same sign. Wow. It's a nice new home for them. It's about the same size too. They got a little pool. People can actually see them in a place that makes sense. So I think it's a pretty good change for them. I guess they're not a fan of the weather, but they do like the mud, evidently. Now it's time for us to actually finally ride the safari, which, look at that, there is no line. So not only is Great Adventure dead, but so is the base camp. There's a lot of babies.
We are known
Baby,
our American plains.
bison.
These are the bison and their babies. Well, that leaves very tiny space for a brain, guy.
You gonna walk right in?
Sorry? Buddy. We do have a small baby giraffe in the corner here on the right. She was born.
Hi, Coral.
Also, a little further on the left, we do have our scimitar horn oryx. They are named after in the wild. But thanks to conservation networks, and yes, of course, a bathroom. There's the main tent behind that has a restaurant, bar, and Starbucks where you guys can get a gourmet meal or feed the giraffes every day at the open patio here. Hi, guys. And you can book a day at the spot to get a relaxing, soothing massage. So I don't blame them for cooling off in the lake. Hi, Stanley. Now, when black bucks start jumping around, it is not native to Russia and Mongolia. They are kept as a beast of burden because they did. They will pick through each other's fur. It is also a symbol of matriarchy. We saved this piece as an enrichment piece. And it is now called the Great American Baboon Machine. So they love to hang out and nap on it. And I can't deny, I would hang out in the hammock underneath too. It looks like a really comfortable place to hang out.
So I'm not seeing any signs of where Ka or Lantern is going to get placed over here. I would assume it's going to be very close to Scream Machine because, I mean, why wouldn't you put them near each other? But there is a lot of places that they could put them. I'm not seeing any real signs though of where exactly they'll wind up. So there's a good chance they haven't prepared where they're going to put them quite yet or decided. But let's see, is there any spots over here? Nothing yet, no. Hello, Green Lantern.
Which we've donated to since
really good view of it,
2019, but
too.
this year we are partnered with the organization. You guys can meet like our barn owls and American kestrel. We also have two other birds like the kookaburra and our great horned owl. We also have our reptile house here in the corner where you guys can meet our lizards.
Oh, hello. We just came back over here, and I think it's safe to say my dad made a new friend with the laughing kookaburra bird. But now we're gonna leave the base camp. Yeah, he's the only one that finds him funny. Now we're probably gonna go back over to Great Adventure. Yeah, at the bird, not you. All right, we've made it back to the park now after a nice brisk walk. All right, this is nuts. Flash is a walk-on right now. Naturally, because we saw Flash was a walk-on, we're gonna go see how true that really is. Another ride on Flash done, this time in the back car, and audio still wasn't working, but when I was on the right side of the second to back seat, I did hear crackles coming through, so it was trying, but just now, car 6, no audio. So something I'm noticing as I'm walking through here, there are new queue rails right in front of the Hero's Grill to make lines a little more organized here. Before we get food and leave, we are gonna stop for a ride on Nitro. It's almost 5:00 p.m. on a Saturday evening in June, and this is the line for Nitro.
There is none.
There is none. All right, we just rode Nitro in the B train, B as in boy, which is usually the worst train, but that was actually running really, really good in the back row, of course. No complaints, unless there's some from you.
No.
Wow. Wow, okay. Some character development for Vinny.
Besides the,
Of course.
Yes, the magenta that we saw. But yes, Blue Nitro or Blue Tro is great. Call me crazy, but I think these are new vending machines. I don't remember that one looking like that, right across from Nitro's entrance here. Over here, Yum Yum, looks like there's a new sign here for enter only, and there's a similar one on the other side for exit only. Now, I could be giving them too much credit here. I don't think I am, though, because the background of the Coca-Cola logo matches the pattern of the wall here. That's a really nice attention to detail. I cannot think of a moment in recent Great Adventure history where I've been able to just walk right into Johnny Rockets and get a milkshake within a minute. I mean, this is nuts. It's, again, a Saturday in the summer, and there's no line at Johnny Rockets right at the front gate. Mind-blowing. So Tom has discovered a new flavor at
I discovered
Sweet Treats. Good job, Tom.
It's called Blue Monster Cookie, likely to avoid any copyright infringement. What's it taste like? Well, we got a bunch of dusted up Oreos.
Oreos.
In blue 5 laden ice cream. I think it's pretty good. I would get it again.
I'll have to try it next time.
Yes.
And you got
So
Superman
I got
ice cream.
Superman. So this Superman is just as good as Superman the Ride at Six Flags and Wingers.
And I presume far better than Superman Ultimate Flight here at Great Adventure.
Well, better than any Superman Ultimate Flight. I'm not a big fan of those.
What about the premiere at Six Flags Discovery Kingdom?
Well, that's a different story.
Okay.
Because that's not a flying
Why?
coaster.
It's the importance of not generalizing right there.
I see.
But with all that being said, that's going to do it for today's video from Great Adventure. We got to see the start of Nitro's Repaint, among other things. If you guys enjoyed, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll see you all in the next video.
Goodbye,
Goodbye
guys.
guys.